After 9 weeks in a row, and when I say 9 weeks, I mean the longest losing streak that Bitcoin has ever had. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 red candles in a row. Never happened before in the history of Bitcoin. We finally have a green candle. You can see we finally got a little bit of a pump, 30,676. And this pump was obvious. We called the pump. Today we're going to be talking about whether we think this pump is going to last. I'm also going to be showing you some signs of what the next bull market is going to look like. I don't know when it's going to come, but I do know what it's going to look like. So I think it's going to be a very different show. You can see I'm still here in Monaco, checking out of the hotel as soon as I finish the stream. But I thought, even though it is Memorial Day in the United States, here we are. We're going to bring you some crypto love and crypto wisdom. Let's do this, kids. Wakey, rise and shine. We finally have a green candle on the chart after 9 weeks of slaughter, 9 weeks of red. We're back with a green candle, 30,668 in a pump that I may say that we actually predicted. I mean, everyone predicted this. Specifically, we predicted this pump. There should have been no surprises that we were going to get a relief rally. I told you guys that I thought that because the NASDAQ, let me quickly get the NASDAQ chart for you guys. So if you look at the NASDAQ, this is what the NASDAQ looks like. So what you can see is that this is the weekly chart of the NASDAQ. And what you can see is that the NASDAQ has had a terrible, terrible, terrible streak. It went down for the last, let's have a look here, from here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They had 7 down weeks. It went down about 25%. But the NASDAQ recovered 13% last week. That was pretty obvious that since Bitcoin is so correlated to the NASDAQ, we were going to get some kind of pump. And we got the pump. And the question is now whether this pump is going to last. Remember, today is a holiday in the United States, so the NASDAQ's not trading. But the futures are ever so slightly up. Like the futures are 29 points up. But I think tomorrow we'll see, when everybody gets back to work, we'll see whether this NASDAQ pump continues. And if it does continue, then the Bitcoin pump is going to be going up. All right, so that's what we're going to be talking about today. Before that, though, I've got 1,000,001 amazing announcements for all of you. First of all, if you didn't watch Sheldon's show, you guys missed out on a phenomenon. It was an absolute phenomenon. It wasn't even like a show. It was a phenomenon. I mean, so what Sheldon did was he went live over the weekend. He went live twice. So these two tiles, you can see here, these two thumbnails. He had 5,000 people trading with him. This show over here was 5 hours, and this show over here was 4 hours. And literally all they did was they traded leverage. And they entered 2 trades. Both trades went positive over the weekend. In fact, let me get him on the stream. No.
Random man, what's happening, brother? I miss you. You got to come back to Cape Town, bro.
Tomorrow. Tell me something.
On the way back, what's happening?
The show this weekend was amazing, right? We had 2 trades, both positive.
Both are finished. TPs, they're done. So
what did you guys make?
So basically I turned, from my one account, it was $400, is now $700, which is phenomenal. That's the teach guys over 2 days. That's basically one trade. And then the second one was $4,500, which is on $10,000 now. So the one trade made $5,500, the one made $300 or for $400. So great start, but I think it gave me hours to sit with the guys and actually go step for step. They saw how we manage risk. They saw how we fight for that entry. They watched it then go. They learned how to put their zones in, their TP zones in, their buy zones. Like, I think it was just an incredible journey for us to all sit together and go through it.
Stop. What you guys are going to do, if you guys join Sheldon on his journey, first of all, you got to unsubscribe to the channel, resubscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification. The reason for that is it's like fishing. Sheldon doesn't know when he's going to be doing the show. He waits for the charts to tell him when to go live, and then he goes live and opens the position. So it's not like a normal show where we know exactly when we're going live. And the only way you're going to be notified is if you hit the bell notification. Second thing, super important. If you go to, let me show you where you're going to be notified. Let me show it to you. So if you go to the description of this video and all the other videos, what you'll see is there are referral links. It's super important that you sign up using these referral links and you sign up to these exchanges. I saw a lot of people trying to trade the same trades as Sheldon was doing on BYBIT, but doing it on FTX. Problem is that FTX didn't hit those levels, so you wouldn't have actually got the trade. So sign up to Kucoin, sign up to BYBIT, sign up to MEXC. All the referral links are here below. And those are the 3 exchanges that Sheldon's going to be using. If you are based in the US or if you want to protect your crypto, what you can do is you can sign up to any of these exchanges. You can use a VPN. There's a VPN link over here. When you sign up with a VPN, you protect your crypto because hackers don't know where your crypto is, but exchanges also don't know where you are. And all these exchanges have got a 2+ Bitcoin withdrawal limit with no KYC. So just make sure.
I think I want to add on that quick run. When we fought for that Solana entry, we got it at 42, but we had a stop loss at 41.7. And on BYBIT, it literally went to 41.78. Like it was right there. The problem is on some exchanges, it can go that little bit of 3 cents difference, and it can trigger. So my goal is to get those snap on, beautiful stop losses, but it can hit, guys. So please use the exchanges that we're using.
So we're using
really look after you. Yeah, so I can really look after you, and we can do it in a way together.
We're using 3 exchanges, just so everybody knows. We're using 3 exchanges. We're using BYBIT, we're using as the primary exchange, we're using Kucoin as a secondary exchange, and we're using MEXC. Make sure that you get your BYBIT, MEXC, and other accounts. While I have you guys here, if you go to, look here, let me show you. While I have everybody here, we will get into the show. I promise you we will get into the show here, guys. But if you go to the Twitter account and you go to Sheldino Tentino's account, you'll see that there's something is happening in Sheldino Tentino's account. And that is that Sheldino Tentino has now got his own newsletter called the Daily Candle. And what it looks like, let me quickly show you guys. I'm going to just log off so I can quickly pull up my email so you can see this. You don't want to be missing this. So if you go to Sheldon's account and you sign up for the daily candle newsletter, what you do is you get an email delivered to you every day with all the charts, all the TPs from him and from Kyle. So Kyle and Sheldon have put together this newsletter. So go to Sheldon's Twitter account now, follow Sheldon on his Twitter account, and then subscribe to the Daily Candle. And then you'll get this newsletter in your newsletter immediately every single morning. Before you wake up, you'll have these amazing things. Daily candles, boys, daily candles. If we wake up in the morning and there's a daily candle, everybody's happy. Everybody's happy.
Everybody's happy. Exactly, bro. Sure. We're not building something beautiful or what? Come on.
Amazing. We'll get the community out of the bear market. I mean, listen, you gave everybody hope. You gave everybody hope. You were making in a bull market, in a bear market, you put on 10% risk and you made 60, 70% and you called it perfectly. So no one can take that away from us. No one can take that away from us now. All right, we're going to talk charts. I just want to get through the beginning of the show. So wait for me. Don't go anywhere. Unless you want to open trade, jump on the stream and tell us that you want to open trades. That's the only excuse that you got.
Okay, deal.
All right, wakey. Let's do this. All right, let's have some fun. Let's look at what's happening on Bitcoin. So as I said, look here. We had 9 down weeks in a row. First time in history, in the history of Bitcoin, that we had 9 down weeks in a row. Now we have a little relief pump. Bitcoin is up 4.11%, and we are on 30,700 on Bitcoin. Big question, will this last? Let's look at all the data, because the data is going to tell us whether or not this is going to last. We are all about data. By the way, guys, do me a favor. It's a holiday in the States. So smash the like button to tell people who are actually here. And if you are in the States, let us know what you're doing in this Memorial Day in the comments. If you traded with Sheldon, also let us know in the comments. All right, so why is this happening? This is happening because the NASDAQ has had a bit of a relief pump. In fact, as I said to you, the NASDAQ is up 13% since the bottom. So it's still down 25% since the top, but it's up 13% since the bottom, which just shows you how quickly this market is recovering. This market is recovering much quicker than we thought. Now, that's not to say that the bear market is over, because in a bear market, you will typically get multiple relief rallies. And we will tell you when we think the bear market's over based on the charts, but we'll also look at and see what other people think about how long this bear market is actually going to last. Because there are some other charts, and the other charts are also actually looking pretty good. So the one chart that is now stabilized is the Bitcoin dominance chart. You can see that people are not that fearful anymore. We're on 46.5%. We'll talk to Sheldon about the Bitcoin dominance chart in about 1 second. The dollar index, the Dixie, has started to come down. Remember that the dollar index went to, hold on, let me have a look here. Let me just switch this off. because it's now I called up the email. Now it's all my email cares about is you guys. Okay, so what you've got the dollar index, which was once at 105, and that's gone all the way back down to 101.2. So you can see, and we'll talk to Sheldon in a second about whether that's broken trend. But you are seeing a whole lot of really, really cool signs that we could maybe have seen some kind of reversal. Now, the people who saw this reversal and traded on it are the Bitfinex whales. Remember, we took that Bitfinex longs, the Bitfinex whale longs, and you can see that the longs are just getting higher and higher and higher and higher. Look at the longs have not been this high since I don't even remember the last time that the longs were actually this high. So these guys knew that a bounce was coming, and the reason why they knew that the bounce was coming is because they realized that sentiment had bottomed, and that so whilst sentiment had completely bottomed, they saw that the NASDAQ had recovered. And because the NASDAQ recovered and sentiment bottomed, and the NASDAQ had 3 green days in a row, it was pretty obvious that Bitcoin was going to bounce. And that's why these guys are so confident. The interesting thing is these guys are still holding their longs, which means that they don't think that this pump is going to be finished. They think that this pump is going to continue. So they were looking at sentiment. They saw fear and greed. They see fear and greed is at 10. This is, by the way, not after the pump. This is the fear and greed index before the pump. It'll be updated again in 9 hours, and I think it'll probably get around 18 or something like that, because I think the fear would have drowned up in the market. Anyway, let's get Sheldon on and let's look at the charts and see where these charts may be going. And then I'll show you the fundamentals behind where these charts are going. Let's do it. Sheldon, no.
Yo, my brother. Let me share screen here.
Whole lot of charts. Let's look at the charts.
Yeah, so first one, which is quite interesting, is obviously the Dixie. I think it was an important one for us to have a look at. You guys have been speaking quite often that the Fed was going to come out quite aggressive this year, and then they were going to slow it down. And I think we spoke about it this morning, looking at, the possibility that they did come out quite rough. We've seen it now on the NASDAQ and the crypto market as well. But the charts are also, they're sort of looking, the same way we spoke this morning, that maybe a little bit of 1 or 2 more hard months in the market. But, possibly from September, we can start looking at a little bit of a bigger growth. Now, we need to look at a few things for that to happen. We've got to look at, obviously, the dollar index. One thing that I am happy about this was a very, very high time frame sort of bull flag that was forming. This is something that comes, you're looking at the last 5 to 6 years that we've been tracking. And we did start to break that wedge to the upward side. I am very grateful and very happy that we are breaking back in that. So for me, a fake out is something that we really wanted to see here. So this is good, and we have obviously the weekly stocks on its way down.
Are we back in the flag? Sorry, I can't see. It's very faint. Are we back in the? Are we back in? Okay, I see. We are back.
We are back, and we've closed inside of the flag. So this is obviously a good, very higher time frame sort of view on that. Now, looking at that, obviously, and then quickly jumping into the stocks, let's go have a look and see where we're looking at there. This was a good, especially on the weekly. We hit some sort of support. It was a good bounce. We do have quite a bit of a job to still do there, but it is showing, this is what I'm sort of looking at. I do think Bitcoin can still hit the 20K. Because we dropped the sort of levels. I don't think right now, but there is something that we need to be ready for on that. But it does look like the stock market is going to look to have a little recovery up here, and then we'll see. Do we make the higher low, or do we make the lower low point of view there? The only reason I'm saying that is because this support over here has still not been tested at all. And I just feel if we're going to have another good year or 2 years rally from the stock market, we've got to at least have a decent retracement that comes from the last wave. So that's it for now in the high time frame. I think no one can deny anymore that the market took a knock, and Bitcoin coming back into the 20s was something we didn't really want to see.
Take me to dominance.
Dominance. Let's have a look. So dominance, this is quite interesting. Obviously, me and you thought together that we wouldn't see dominance back at the high 40s for a while. But it just shows again, when the market really turns, let's make this bigger. When the market really turns bearish, Bitcoin will always be the savior. I think it's something we should be banking a lot more profits in Bitcoin going forward. I think it's another lesson learned. But we are, we are starting to lose that steam now. We're starting to get sideways again within the Bitcoin dominance. We did break a shorter term trend for me. So let me paint the picture quick, because I'm not going to look at macro scale views just yet until we get more data and we see where we're at. But let's jump in between Bitcoin and jump in between the dominance, and I'll show you guys what I'm basically seeing. So we did bottom out at 25. We then started the consolidation, the sideways period. And then I basically narrowed it down with my two chopsticks, you know, the two lines to track the sort of momentum. And soon as we broke the top now within the last 24 hours, you can see how the volume starts to come back in. So what I'm seeing here is I am seeing maybe a possible, you know, there's a top range, which is around 31K. I think we're going to test that. I then think we are going to pull back to the 29 mid-range again. And then I think after that, we're going to have a semi-relief rally from this big wave down that we've had. And that can take us anywhere back to the regions of 35 to 38. You know, we will then monitor then. If we don't break through that, that might be the turning point again for us to get the opportunity of coming back down to 20. I don't know how you feel about it, but, you know, I feel the damage is there, and I feel there's maybe one more. Because we bounced in a random spot. Like the fact that we bounced at 25 was just random for me. Like, you know what I mean? I thought we would just get to the previous support of the last bull run or something. So I think it can still come. So for me now, this is why the live trading show and these things are very important. Is we're still in the range now, which means these little 10, 15% can build our account nicely. But when we get the real, true, decent recovery bounce, if you'll relief bounce, not even turning things bullish on a macro scale, you know, there's a lot of money to be made again. And it's a nice way for us to recover throughout all the losses that we have made in the last year or so. And then we just got to take it step for step from that. So I am seeing a nice little decent, you know, week or 2 to 3 weeks within the markets within this next month. I think we could take advantage of that. I am seeing June being a bad month, just off what I can see right now. And then I am seeing from July, August, September, starting the growth again, and hopefully finally breaking, because you can see that Bitcoin has made this. Let me make this a lot bigger. You can see this long trend now since the 69K all-time high. And that's the one I think at some point later on in the year, we'll finally break that and finally start to shift this down momentum that we have.
Simplified it. You've simplified it. So what I'm saying. You simplified it so beautifully with this last trend, saying, look, just keep looking at this trend. We have to break out of this trend. That's the new bull market.
Exactly. That'll be the time where we can get a decent move to that. So that's sort of what I'm seeing for now, brother.
So just guys, if you missed Sheldon's, he did a quick show earlier. It says how to turn $400 into $1 million. Just go and watch that, because that'll give you the foundation for what he's the course that he's taking you guys on as the Banter fan. All right, so I'm going to match what you said on the technicals with the fundamentals, but wait, because I may bring you back. Okay, so there's some cool shit happening on the fundamentals. I'll show it to you in a second. All right, so let's look at what the fundamentals are saying. The fundamentals are first telling us, as I said before, that every time that we go red on the fear and greed index for long periods of time, we go back into the green. It happened. It's always happened. It's happened since the beginning of time. It's not about to stop now. You can see that we're in the red now. What comes after red? It's always orange, and then it goes to green. It's like driving a car. Every time the traffic light goes red, then it goes to orange, then it goes to green. End of story. That's exactly what's happening on fear and greed. And so it does look like the whales, the smart people, the institutions and the investors, they know that when there's fear, that you should be accumulating. And that's exactly what they're doing. The data has showed this. So the first piece of data we look at is we're looking at the Luna Bitcoin. So the Luna Bitcoin, remember, Luna had $3 billion worth of Bitcoin, and they dumped $3 billion worth of Bitcoin into the market. Now, that supply is now completely out of the market. Gone. No more $3 billion worth of Bitcoin. Who absorbed that supply? Well, you'll be glad to know that it was accounts smaller than 100 Bitcoin. So it wasn't the big whales, the $10,000 whales. It was accounts with just under 100 Bitcoin or under 100 Bitcoin, bang, they bought up all the supply. That supply is now gone. The data shows that the Luna overhang in the market is now completely gone. Then, if you look at this chart from Ki Young Ju, he's the guy from CryptoQuant, what he's saying is he's showing that whales are accumulating Bitcoin more aggressively than they bought in COVID and the 2018 bear market. So what you can see, he takes his two charts and he shows how aggressively whales are accumulating Bitcoin. we are now seeing whales accumulate Bitcoin in the most aggressive rate that they've accumulated since 2018. So we haven't had them accumulating this aggressively. That kind of shows that they think that this accumulation period is about to dry up. The people that bought previously in December 2020 and if you look at the whale accounts from December 2020, compare those exact accounts in May 2022, what you realize is that those same accounts are still holding the same amount of Bitcoin. They're not selling. This account had 2,590 Bitcoin. It's still got 2,590 Bitcoin. This account had 1,400 Bitcoin. It's still got 1,400 Bitcoin. This account had 1,957 Bitcoin. It's still got 1,957 Bitcoin. So those that are holding Bitcoin. But so that's what we're seeing here. Now, there are multiple theories on Twitter as to when this bear market may end. Some people have drawn lines. I like this one in particular where he said bull markets on average are 925 days. This one was 975. This one was 925. This one was about 925. And bear markets are about 400 or 450 days. Remember, we're already in a bear market for 7 or 8 months. We're already 8 months into this bear market. So if it is a 450-day bear market, we're already halfway through. Like we're almost halfway through. So, or more than halfway through. And remember that in bear markets, it doesn't mean that the market continues to go down. We can just continue to go sideways. And I don't think that we're going to go much lower than we've already been. So that's another positive thing that we've got working for us. We're already in that. Ki Young Ju, the same guy, he's the founder of Cryptocoin. He says the unspent transactions, you can see that they entering a period, that's this chart over here. And he says, when the unspent transaction, the UTXO spikes, you see, what you see is that's the beginning of a bull market. It happened every single time, and we're spiking. I don't know if there's a little bit more in the spike left to go, but we are actually spiking. So that's another good thing. And he says, look, the last accumulation phase was in mid-2020, and it lasted 6 months. We accumulated for 6 months. As of May 2022, for me, it's pretty obvious that Bitcoin is in accumulation phase. Institutions that drove the 2021 bull market bought this in the range of 25 to 30K. So both times it was 25 to 30K. So he's saying we're seeing the same kind of accumulation. Then you got the fib channels, which Sheldon can maybe talk to us about in a couple of secs in terms of the fib channels. We'll go back to Sheldino. But what I'm trying to show you guys is that this may not be the end of the bear market, but we're in the bear market. We've seen the worst, and now it's about accumulation. We may be going down, we may be going up. It's about accumulation. It's about getting your ducks in a row. It's about making sure that you make the right investment decisions. Because if you don't make the right investment decisions now, you're not going to make money in the next bull market. And we are going to see another bull market. But it's going to be a different bull market. It's not the same bull market as the ones we've seen before. A lot of coins are actually going to die before the bull market. And you got to remember that you want to see those coins. And if you do want to see those coins, so hear me out. Listen up. We've got a new dude working at Crypto Banter. He is working on the Shorts channel, Crypto Banter Shorts. Go to Crypto Banter Shorts, subscribe to Crypto Banter Shorts, and he has spoken. He made a show today around which tokens are going to die and which tokens are going to survive. He is amazing. He's got this energy. I mean,
so are my coins going to make it to the top of the next bull run? This should be the question which is on all prudent investors' mind. We've got Bitcoin trying to bottom out right now, and our job as investors, as allocators, is to decide which projects to back for the next run to the top.
Okay, so I'm not going to ruin it for you guys. His name is Ijaz. He's on the Crypto Banter Shorts channel, Crypto Banter Microdose or Crypto Banter Shorts. Just go and watch Crypto Banter Shorts or Crypto Banter Microdose. Also, let me know what you think of him. Let me know if we should bring him into the family, if we should make him part of the Banter fam. I love the guy. I must say, I love him. So that's it. All right, let's quickly talk about the fundamentals and what's driving all of this. Obviously, you know that Raoul was on our show on Friday. We had a huge Friday banter. If you didn't see the Friday banter, go and watch the Friday banter. That Friday banter has taken off so much that other channels have started to copy it and started to take clips of it. We don't mind it. We love it when they use our clips. But a lot of people are quoting Raoul and how he spoke about the next bull market and when this bull market will end and the indicators that he's got about when the bull market will end. And what we're seeing now is we're seeing a consolidation phase. We're seeing a clean out phase. Now, we had the clean out phase with Bitcoin. That clean out phase is finished. We had Luna dumping all their Bitcoin. We had all the scared hands selling Bitcoin. But I think for Ethereum, and what you're seeing now is, if you look at the ETH BTC chart, let's quickly go and call up an ETH BTC chart. What you'll notice that the ETH BTC chart, the price of Ethereum relative to the price of Bitcoin, is coming down. So you see it's coming down. Now, Sheldon would probably tell you that that's a perfect retest. So it's coming down the trend line, perfect retest, and it's going to go back up again. But the reason for that is that Ethereum is losing value to Bitcoin because the Bitcoin shakeout has happened. But the Ethereum shakeout hasn't quite happened yet, because Ethereum is actually made up of two components. The first component Ethereum is made up of is DeFi, and the other one is NFTs. Now, DeFi has had a huge shakeout, but NFTs haven't yet had their shakeout. They're having their shakeout right now, so we could see a little bit more pain in the ETH BTC chart, maybe a little bit more pain, and then it's probably a good time to start accumulating ETH. In fact, for me, I'm already starting to accumulate ETH, and that is because DeFi and NFTs have already started taking the smack. And what you can see in these quick recoveries is Miles, another Banter guy. I mean, love that all these Banter guys are contributing to the show. But what he did was he took the recovery and he found out which of the tokens are recovering the quickest. So you can see that the fastest recovery is happening with Rune. The second one is Cardano. The third one is Near Protocol. He basically mapped out which tokens are recovering the quickest. And rest assured that the ones that are recovering the quickest now are the ones that will recover quickest when we get into the bull market. You have to focus on the fundamentals. And for now, the simplest fundamental that you can focus on is usage of the network. It's the easiest fundamental for you to see. If you're not looking at developer activity, go and look at usage of the network. And what you'll see is that chains like Avalanche and chains like Near, I mean, this is the Near unique accounts chart. This is the growth in Near protocol unique accounts. Now, if I take that and compare it to, let's take the Near price. I just want to show you guys. So that's the Near price. Okay, look at the price. But if you look at under the hood, if you don't look at price as this shallow indicator, what you can see is that the usage of network is at pretty much all-time highs. So yes, there can be a disconnect between price and fundamentals for short periods of time, but not for long periods of time. And so if you're accumulating, what you should be doing is you should be accumulating right now, you should be accumulating a portfolio of strong tokens that are going to recover quickly in a bull market and that are going to be here if we go for a prolonged bear market. Now, I've given you guys a list. I'm accumulating things like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Near Protocol, Solana. Those are the Rune. Those are the ones that I'm accumulating. But you're going to make up your own portfolio. We'll talk about those portfolios in just a couple of days. Let's talk about when this relief pump may end, because it actually could end. When would it end? Well, let's look at the clues. The clues are that the relief pump is caused because the NASDAQ is rallying. So what could cause the NASDAQ to stop rallying? What is the one thing that could cause the NASDAQ to stop rallying? It's very simple. The Fed. If the Fed comes out and is bearish, they could slow down the markets. This week, we have the Fed, we have people speaking from the Fed. We have Williams and Bullard speaking this week. Now, Bullard is very much negative. He's always bearish, always bearish. So we've got to watch out. We've got to watch out for what the Fed says this week. But I think that the Fed's ammunition is now limited because they've said everything that they can say. And what the market is telling us is that the Fed's job is done and that the Fed won't be able to increase interest rates as much as they want to because the economy is already slowing down and slowing down way too quickly. We see that in the chart. So Lynn Olin shows this chart of the 2-year treasury yield. So what they do is they take a yield on a bond that matures in 2 years. And that gives you an indication of what the market believes the interest rate will be 2 years from now. What you can see is that they're starting to come down, which means that the market is telling you that they don't see the Fed being able to increase interest rates by more than to around 3%. And you can see the same things happening with the 10-year yield. The 10-year yield is also coming down, which basically what the market is telling you is that the Fed's job has already been done. The economy has already slowed. People are losing their jobs. The economy has slowed so much, consumers can't afford to do what they want, and people are starting to lose their jobs. US employers reported more than 24,000 jobs cut in April, which is up 14%. A whole lot of companies are now saying hiring freezes. What does a hiring freeze mean? It means you're not allowed to hire more people. So if people leave, you can't hire to replace them, which is a way of cutting jobs without paying people retrenchment packages. So that's what's happening in the markets. The markets are being slowed down, and they have been slowed down enough by the Fed. If you watched our Friday banter, do me a favor, go and watch that Friday banter with Raoul. It will be the best hour that you spend today, other than this hour and watching Sheldon show. It's the best hour that you'll spend today. But go watch it. Raoul breaks down very beautifully why he thinks the Fed has already done, the Fed's job has already been done. Anyway, be that as it may, the next big day on our calendars is June 10th. On June 10th, we're going to get the inflation numbers. Remember that for the first time in a long time, we had the inflation numbers going from 8.5 to 8.3. We're looking for this to go down. They're saying that the forecasts are 8.1. I'm going with 8. And if we get that, then the Fed's going to go, look, inflation's starting to come down. We have one more month where inflation comes down. And then we're pretty much going to be in a position where the Fed cannot continue to increase interest rates. And then we begin a new cycle. And that's what everybody's saying. Everybody's saying they'll increase by 0.5 in June, they'll increase by 0.5 in July, but then in September, they're either not going to increase at all, or they're going to increase 0.25. And that's pretty much going to be the worst of this cycle. Then we would have seen pretty much the worst of this cycle. So that is what we're looking at. Raoul Paul had a tweet. I'm not going to go through the whole tweet with you guys because it's a long tweet. But he says that effectively what's happening is the NASDAQ is back in its channel, and he finishes the tweet. This tweet's also based on a lot of the stuff he said on the show. So just go watch the Friday banter. But he says, look, I think what's going to happen is we're going to go into a quick recession. So like a quick 2 quarters of down, and then we're going to go back into a bull market. That's what he's saying. He's saying that, in fact, just go watch the Friday banter. It is the easiest place for you guys to go and get the information. But we must be cognizant that that is all the United States, and that Europe actually has a much bigger problem. Now, we can discount 1 or 2 small countries in Europe, but Europe actually has a very big inflation problem at the moment. Because remember that the US has its own oil, and it has its own oil reserves. But Europe buys all their commodities from Russia. And what's happening in Europe now is Europe is hitting like record inflation. Belgium, 9% inflation, higher than the United States. Spain, 8.5%. You've got Germany, 7.9%, but Germany is going to go much higher because they are very, very, very reliant on Russia. So that is, we're going to see the backlash in the US first. I think we've already seen the worst in the US, but now it's going to move to Europe, and then the cloud's going to move past Europe, and then we're going to go into the bull market again. And I think what you got to remember is that bear markets are part of market cycles. And for a long time, as Elon Musk says, it was raining money on fools. Anybody was making money. And now we're going to move into a different type of market cycle. I want to spend 2 minutes talking to you guys about the new type of market cycle, because it's going to be very, very different. And I think to do that, let's quickly look at the BTC chart. I'm going to go into the weekly, and I want to, in fact, let's see if I can go into the monthly. I think it might even make it easier. But let's go back. Okay, I don't know if this one goes. Let's see if this one goes into the thing. Let's see if Sheldino's on. Sheldino, can you get me a Bitcoin chart that goes all the way back to 2015? I'll show you guys why I think we're going to have a very different type of. You muted, by the way. Show you guys why I think we're going to have a very different. Yeah. Okay, so I think we're going to have a very different type of bull market. And I'll explain to you very simply why I think that this next bull market is going to be very different. Why we've got to concentrate a lot more. All right, so let's go to the beginning of the first bull market, which you can see. Let's go into let's go. If you can go before that, that would be great. Like 2013.
I don't have that just yet. I got 2015. Okay.
All right, let's go from 2015. So if you go to the beginning of the 2016 bull market, so go to the beginning of 16, just for shits and giggles.
Yeah. So the beginning was basically this range over here.
Okay. So what was the price of Bitcoin? $400.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, where did Bitcoin go in the top of that bull market, in top of 2017?
Sure, to the top of 2017.
That was the first bull market. That was the first bull market.
Yeah. So it basically rallied up. Wow, all the way to the top.
Go. Went to 20,000. They went from 400 to 20,000.
Yeah.
400 to 20,000 is 50x on Bitcoin, right?
Yes.
Okay, let's talk about this bull market. So where were we at the beginning below on this bull market?
The low was basically the March crash, but we were a little bit low before that, but basically between 3,000 to 4,000.
Okay, and where did we go from there?
We went to 69K.
So 20x.
Yes.
So the first bull market was a 50x. Second bull market was a 20x.
Yes.
Now we got an asset that's trading at a market capitalization of about $1 trillion. Now, if Bitcoin 10x's from here, it gets to gold's market valuation. So 15x's from here, it goes to gold's market valuation. We can't expect Bitcoin's market valuation to go to gold's market valuation in a period of less than a year, right? That's a bit of a stupid assumption, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So what that means is that we probably not going to see a bull market that is as aggressive as the last two that we've seen, right? So the first one, there was a 50x on Bitcoin, easy to make money when Bitcoin's doing a 50x, right? Second one, 20x on Bitcoin, easy to make money when Bitcoin does a 20x.
Yeah. Probably is maybe a 10 or 12x if we're really going to something crazy. And then after that, in another few years, then it'll be a 5x, then it'll be maybe a 2x. Like it's
exactly. I think that from now on, it's going to be a long, hard slog to get to gold's market cap. So maybe we'll get a 4x now, and that'll take us to a market cap of half the market cap of gold, so a quarter of the market cap of gold. And so the message that I'm trying to drive is that we're going to see different types of bull markets, much slower, much less aggressive. Now, we are used to making money in very aggressive bull markets, which are never going to happen again, which means the only way to make money now you dollar cost average into quality. If you want to make the 10x's and the 100x's and the 50x's, you got to have your finger on the pulse, because the things that are going to go up to 100x and 50x are going to be new narratives that form. So what's the new DeFi? What's the new NFT? What's the new play to earn? If you can find those narratives, you'll still be able to find 50 and 100x's in a market that's only going to be growing 4x. But it becomes much harder, because in a market where everyone's getting 20x, then anyone can make money. And so now is the time that you got to be super, super razor focused. You got to understand exactly what's happening in the markets. You got to have your fingers so close to the pulse that you understand exactly what the narratives are before anybody else. And then there's still a chance for you to make the 20, 30, and 40, 50x's. It's not going to be as easy as the last two bull markets. So it's not going to be as easy. So you got to make sure that you have finger on the pulse, and that you take way more profits on the way up if that's your strategy. All right, so that is that. There are a couple of other things very quickly that I want to speak to you guys about. Very, very, very quickly. I mean, we saw Luna 2.0 launch, trading at $6.25. I see that Kucoin is becoming a little bit more, not as arrogant. I think he's been tamed a bit. He says, do you see Luna 2.0 being bigger than Luna Classic? He says, yes. Eric Wall says to him, would you want to take me a $10 million bet? And he knows Eric's got a very small fund. He says, I don't think you'd like to bet half your fund. So he says, sorry, I can only blog now. So it's nice to see that Kucoin is a little bit humbled. Lark, not so bullish about Luna 2.0. I've said to you guys, I'm not so bullish, but I'm going to hold my tokens anyway, just to see what happens. But I'm not bullish on it. It's not one of my core holdings. Remember to subscribe to the newsletters. Subscribe on Sheldon's Twitter, and also while you're there, just give your Twitter a bit of love. Let us talk about. You can also subscribe on our website. Go and check out our website. You can subscribe over here in the corner. Sign in with Twitter. Subscribe to the newsletter. You can see Rubik, which is a cross-chain bridge, is one of our sponsors. Amazing protocol. Good one to be accumulating now. Other news: Shiba Inu founder Ryoshi. I don't know if he's done a rug, but it's not a rug because you can't really rug Shiba Inu. But what you can see is that his Twitter account is now, it's deleted. He deleted his entire Twitter account. He also deleted all the Medium posts that they've ever had. So, I mean, he's obviously upset or worried or something. But we got a problem with Shiba Inu, and I've always said I don't like Shiba Inu. Too many people were trading it as a meme coin. And I think now it's going to come down. Let's see what the price of Shiba Inu is done. I can imagine it's been slaughtered at this news. Shiba Inu. Shiba. That's Shiba. There we go. Okay, it hasn't done that badly, but again, I wouldn't touch this. And now I think there's something going on. I mean, why would the founder do everything? Okay, lastly, if we could please all have a minute silence. If we could just have a minute silence. Just a minute silence. I'll tell you in a second. I'll tell you after we have the minute silence, I'll tell you what the minute silence was for. Guys, come in the chat as well. Minute silence. No chats for 1 minute. No chats for 1 minute. And just respect this. This is something very important. We have to have a minute silence. Respect it in the chat. Respect it. All right, we'll have a minute silence. You know what you're having a minute silence for? You're having a moment of silence for this poor victim. A woman, 21-year-old, is virtually raped by a stranger in the metaverse. So now we're dealing with virtual rapes in the metaverse.
Dude, is the world weird or what? Like, so what happened? Can you explain this to me? Like,
raped by a stranger in the metaverse app while another user watched and passed around a bottle of vodka in the metaverse.
But what do they mean? Like, I don't get it. You got like your little
one
characters.
Avatar virtually raped her avatar while another avatar watched.
But how? Like what? I'm like shocked.
It's like, well, there was a man avatar and then there was a woman avatar. There was a man avatar and a woman avatar, and then in the metaverse, and then the woman feels that the man avatar raped the woman avatar.
She did not have personal boundary featured on. Jeez, so good. What the hell? Okay.
I mean, someone says, yeah, it happened so fast, I kind of disassociated. One part of my brain was like, what the fuck is happening? The other part was like, this isn't a reality, and another part was like, this is important research. I mean, what the fuck? Where do we live? I mean, what have we become?
I don't even get it. Like, yeah, the world's a messed up place.
What have we become? What have we become? What have we become? Yeah. Listen, fam, love you guys. Don't forget that if you haven't subscribed to the channel, subscribe to the channel. If you haven't signed up on every single one of the referral links for Sheldon Show, if you haven't subscribed, go and sign up. Remember, I said to you tomorrow, I'm going to be doing MEXC giveaway, Kucoin giveaway, and BYBIT giveaway because I don't have the updated lists with me. If you want the sign-up links, here they are. For those of you who don't know where they are, there's the YouTube that we're on now. There's the Kucoin link. There's the BYBIT link. There's the Nord VPN link. You can see all the links over here. We'll put a MEXC link in here. In fact, Jimmy, I know you're listening. Put the MEXC link in, Jimmy. Jimmy, put the MEXC link in, Jimmy.
Yeah, guys. So I think I'm looking at a day or two of short-term pullbacks, and then I think Wednesday we're going to be live trading again. So Wednesday later my time we'll be live trading again. Between Wednesday and Thursday we're hitting it again, and we're going for round 2, baby. Let's do it. All
right, round 2, baby. Listen, guys, I'm getting on the plane to get home. Tomorrow I'll be back in studio. Love you guys madly. I will see you guys again tomorrow. Much love, Sheldino.
Much love, brother. Fly safe.